Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start with the today's session. And today we are going to discuss regarding the provision for doubtful debt. What is provision for doubtful debt and how it will be accounted for? So let's discuss the basics of it, and then inshallah in the next class we will practice for the past paper question. Okay, first of all, let's see that what's here, and we have different assets like we have cash, we have bank, we have different like
Yeah,
receivable, inventory. We have different sorts of assets, different types of assets, different
trade
classifications.
receivables.
Yes, there are different assets. Out of all these assets, today we are going to discuss the asset that is a trade receivables.
Hmm.
Trade receivables.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
trade receivables is also known as accounts receivable. It means what is accounts receivable? Accounts receivable is basically an amount. Accounts receivable is an amount to be received. It's an amount to be received for the goods sold
On
on
credit.
credit. Goods sold on credit. It means if you have sold some merchandise on inventory to the customer on credit, so obviously now you have to receive an amount from that particular customer. This is known as what? This is known as what? The accounts or the trade receivable. This is also
Receipts.
what the accounts receivable or trade receivables. Now, whenever we want to receive certain amount from the customers, so there is always a possibility that some amount you will not be able to recover. An amount that you will not be able to recover is known
Irrecoverable
as
debts.
recoverable debt,
Hmm.
or at times we call it as bad debt.
So
Irreco-
the real question is, can we write bad debts in the paper as well?
yes,
Because
irrecoverable
जगह ही इतनी कम होती है, recoverable बहुत ज्यादा लंबा होता
debt. Irrecoverable debt or bad debt. Now, what is irrecoverable or bad debt? Irrecoverable or bad debt means an amount that you could not recover. An amount that you could not recover. An amount that could not be recovered. That could not be recovered is known as bad debt. Is known as what? The bad debt or irrecoverable debt. Is known as what? The bad debt or irrecoverable debt. Now, there are two possible options. For example, if I have to receive an amount from Mr. X, and now Mr. X, the receivable from Mr. X was, let's say, $300,000. $300,000. And now I know that Mr. X has gone bankrupt. He has nothing to pay off the particular amount. So it means I'm sure about it that this person, Mr. X, will not pay any amount to me. So it means if I'm sure that this amount will not be recovered, and I'm confident that this customer will not pay the amount, so in that particular situation where we are confirmed, we are 100% sure that this amount will not be recovered, and number two, that we know that which specific debt is irrecoverable. We know that which specific debt is irrecoverable. It means that this particular specific debt will not be recovered. So if these two criterias are met, so what we are going to do, we are going to delete that particular receivable. We are going to delete that particular trade receivable.
and
It
treat it as a loss. I think.
Yes, we will consider it, or we'll treat it as a write-off. We will treat as a write-off. It means we are going to write it off. It means we are going to delete it. We are going to cancel it out. And how it will be done? Are we going to rub this particular amount? Are we going to delete this amount? No. In order to write off, obviously we have to make an accounting entry to delete the trade receivable, an accounting entry to write off the receivable. The entry would be irrecoverable debt debit, irrecoverable debt debit, and trade receivable or account receivable or customer will be credit, or customer will be credit. For example, any customer, let's say John, will be credited. So it means the accounting entry to record the write-off is irrecoverable debt debit and trade receivable or John is credited,
Yeah,
or John is credited.
yeah, makes sense.
This is basically the write-off that we have to prepare. Now, there could be another option. There could be another option. What is that? For example, the total trade receivable of a company is, let's say, 1 million. Total trade receivable. It means that is the total amount that we have to recover from all of the customers. For example, there are 10 customers, and from 10 customers, we have to recover an amount of $1 million, that is 10 lakh. Now, there might be a possibility, not a specific customer, but three or four of them will not pay a certain amount. It's not necessary that we will say
So
that
the
customer will
50 to
not pay that
75% should
amount.
be unpaid.
Yes, it's not necessary. For example, if I'm doing a business, whenever I go to the customer, I ask. For example, I ask Ammar, there is an outstanding amount from your side is, let's say, 90,000. You said, "Oh, sir, thank you. Yes, you recalled me. You reminded me. Okay, let me give you. You gave me 88,000. Wait. I had to recover an amount of
1 million.
90,000. 90,000. Let's say from one customer. But you just gave me 88,000. You just gave me back. You just gave me what amount?
88,000.
88,000. I told you, Ammar, there's a shortage of 2,000. You said, come on, sir. अब और गुड्स भेजें, माल भेजें, कस्टमर आगे वेट कर रहे हैं, बाद में देखेंगे 2,000 रुपए बाद में देखेंगे। अम्मार ये क्या करा रहा है मुझे, अम्मार ये क्या करा रहा है मुझे,
फॉरगेट करवा रहा, चेंज कर रहा
हाँ ये मुझे फॉरगेट करवा रहा है, यानी कि ये अब मुझे मिलने वाले।
नहीं है.
हाँ, इसका मतलब ये है कि that particular amount, I didn't said that entire amount will not be recovered. Neither the customer was gone bankrupt. It means there is a habit of the customer. They always try to retain certain amount. It means that whenever we are not sure that which customer will not pay, there is not surety. There is no 100% doubt. Instead, there is a doubt. If it means there is a doubtful, that certain percentage or estimated amount will not be recovered. I repeat, in that particular case, in the case of write-off, we were 100% sure because the customer has gone bankrupt. We were 100% sure. Why? Because the customer was out of the business and no amount was expected to be recovered. It means that in that particular case, what we did, we just write it off. Why? Because since you know that this amount will not be recovered and you are 100% sure that customer is not going to pay you that amount, so obviously it's
So why
quite
will
obvious and it's quite relevant that we have to write off, we have to delete that particular receivable. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir. And I think
Okay.
if I remember correctly, if suppose after writing it off, he does give us the money back, so we can write it as a kind of profit.
Yes,
Right.
excellent. I'll be coming to that one. Very good. Okay, now there is another possibility that out of the total receivable, not the entire debt is confirmed, but there might be a possibility. For example, every year, what I have calculated, what I have estimated, every year, 10% of the amount we will not able to recover. It's not that customer has gone bankrupt, but it is the habit of the customer. Customer always try to retain certain amount. So it means that if the customer has not gone bankrupt, but out of the total trade receivable, certain portion of the amount is not able to recover. So it means what we are going to do, the amount is doubtful. Doubtful means शायद मिलेंगे, शायद नहीं मिलेंगे.
If he's
Doubtful है.
generous,
Percentage, there will be an estimated percentage that around 5 to 8%, 7%, 9%, or 10% amount will not be recovered. And remember, there is no specific debt, there is a general debt. It means out of the total receivable. However, while we were doing the write-off, so there was a specific one customer that will not recover or that will not pay the amount. But here, there is no specific customer. Some customer might pay the full amount. Some customer might pay or might not pay 1,000. Some customer might not pay 2,000. Some customer might not pay 3,000. So it means there is a doubtful debt that some customer might not pay. So it means there is a general debt plus there is doubtful and there is an estimate. There is an estimated percentage that from the last 5 years, 8% of the amount we are not able to recover. So in that particular case, now we are not going to write it off. Instead, we are going to make a provision. Yes, this is known as what? Provision for doubtful debt. This is known as provision for doubtful debt. Ammar, are you getting a point?
yes, provision.
So in this case, now the provision will be made, and what will be the accounting entry to record the provision? So the accounting entry would be irrecoverable debt debit, irrecoverable debt debit, and provision for bad debt credit, provision for bad debt or provision for doubtful debt is credited. Remember, there are two separate entries, two different entries. Number one is for the write-off. Write-off irrecoverable debt debit, account receivable or the trade receivable will be credited. But in case of the provision, irrecoverable debt will be debited, and provision for bad debt or allowance for bad debt or provision for doubtful debt will be credited. Now here listen to me very carefully. So that bad debt or the irrecoverable debt which is debited, it is basically an expense. Since we have debited the expense account, so obviously expense is increasing and thereby the profit will
Decrease.
decrease. And for write-off, it is the quite simple and the similar situation. Quite simple in the similar situation. Irrecoverable debt is debited, and obviously, again, debt is debited, which means expense is increasing.
Decreases.
Since the expense is increasing, so obviously the profit will
Decrease.
decrease. And the other part of the accounting entry, trade receivable, this will directly impact on the asset, and obviously the asset will decrease. Are you clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as the provision entry is concerned, irrecoverable debt is debited. It means expense is increasing, profit will reduce. However, this provision for doubtful debt will appear in the balance sheet, and this will be considered as contra asset. This will be considered as what?
Contra asset.
Yes. Now, what the contra asset will do? That in balance sheet, it will reduce the amount of trade receivable. Reduce the amount of trade receivable.
Acha. Oh, yes, you told provision.
Provision for bad debt or provision for doubtful debt. This will be increased. Why? Because this is known as what? The contra asset. So contra asset is something that reduces the value of an asset.
Yeah.
Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are two possible entries. Number one, that is the write-off, which is irrecoverable debt debit and account receivable credit. And the other one is the provision, which is irrecoverable debt debit and provision for doubtful debt or provision for bad
Yeah.
debt is credited.
Okay. Sir, so like provision for any provision for any asset is always a contra asset.
There are two contra asset, provision for doubtful debt and provision for depreciation. There are
Uh,
only two contra asset, that is a provision for doubtful debt and provision for depreciation.
Only. Okay.
Okay. Now, one more important concept that I would like to give you here, that is number one, that why we are recording this provision. Why we are recording this provision? There is a question. There is a question. There is a question in your mind. There might be a question in your mind that since one of the customer, for example, the customers you have to receive the amount. So far, none of the customer has gone bankrupt, but still we are recognizing the provision.
So why do we do that?
The customer said that I will give you later on, but you know that you will not be able to recover that amount, but since the customer is not serious. So what you do, you make a provision for doubtful debt, that is irrecoverable debt debit, and provision for doubtful debt credit. Why? Since the loss has not yet arisen, there is no actual loss right now. There is an expectation, but it's quite lower that we will receive that amount. There is a very low expectation. My question is that why provision for bad debt? Why provision for doubtful debt is being recorded? Why provision for doubtful debt is recorded? Is recorded, although the loss has not yet arisen. Why provision for
Because
doubtful debt is recorded? Why we are
I
recording
remember,
a provision for doubtful debt?
there's an accounting principle which states that you should assume
What is
all
the name of
losses.
that accounting principle? Very good. What is the name of that accounting?
I think it was the prudence, I believe, no?
Excellent. Very good. It's a prudence concept. It's a prudence concept. And secondly, the matching principle, prudence concept, And
and
the
matching.
second one is the matching
All
principle.
expenses slash income should be recorded when you have given the actual benefit from it. You have gained the benefit.
Very good, very good. Now, what prudence concept states that? Prudence concept states that record future expected future expected losses should be recorded. Future expected losses should be
Yeah.
recorded. If you see that if there is a future expected loss, just record it. It's a prudence concept. Why? So that the accounts are not manipulated. If you can see
Yeah.
that there is a loss and you know that this loss will arise, so IS or accounting standard says that don't wait for the loss to arise. Please don't wait for the loss to arise. If you can see the future expected loss, just record that particular future expected loss. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir. So I think there can be a question in the past paper which can say which accounting principle does is the
Yes,
provision for
exactly.
doubtful
It's
debt.
a very famous question and a popular question in exam. That which accounting principle is followed for the recording the provision for doubtful debt. There is a very common sense. There is a very general question, and it might comes to the layman mind that since the loss has not yet arise, so why we are recording it? We are recording it because prudence concept states that if you can forecast an estimated loss, so just record it right now, right away. Why? That is something prudent. Prudent means that is samajhdari. Yani ki
Yeah.
that is prudent, that it's prudent that you can see the loss since the loss is not yet arise, so why are you not recording? Just record that particular loss so that your accounts are fair enough, so
Yeah.
that the users and the shareholders will not be misguided.
Yeah, give them false hope. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, let me give you an example. हमारा एक देसी एग्जांपल देता हूँ मैं. फॉर एग्जांपल कि अगर एक आपके पास शख्स है, उसका एक उसने एक जगह पे रिश्ता भेजा अपना. क्या भेजा उसने अपना?
रिश्ता.
वेरी गुड. अब लड़की वाले पूछने के लिए आए, ये बताएं कि यार लड़का कैसा है. मैंने कहा कि यार लड़का तो भाई तबाही कुन, मतलब सर वो प्रीमियो प्रोस्मैटिक लैंड क्रूजर से कम तो आता ही नहीं है. रोज नई गाड़ी में आ रहा है, कभी लैंड क्रूजर में, कभी प्राडो के अंदर, कभी फॉर्च्यूनर में आ रहा है, कभी वीगो में. यानी कि डेली बेसिस के ऊपर न्यू कार में आ रहा है.
हम्म.
ये स्टेटमेंट देख के, ये स्टेटमेंट सुनने के बाद लड़की वालों ने क्या किया होगा?
बोला. हाँ, इसलिए.
हाँ, हाँ, वेरी गुड. कबूल है, कबूल है, कबूल है, ऐसे ही है.
हाँ.
अच्छा, अब इसके बाद जब कबूल है, कबूल है, कबूल है हो गया, उसके बाद फिर हुआ ये कि पता चला कि लड़का डेंटर था. कौन था?
डेंटर.
हाँ, डेंटर कौन होता है? डेंटर वेंटर कौन होता है?
आई थिंक डेटर्स होते हैं जिनके बहुत हैवी डेट पे होते हैं. आई थिंक.
नहीं नहीं, डेंटर वो होता है जो गाड़ियां रिपेयर करता है, जो
हाँ.
गाड़ियां रिपेयर, एक्सीडेंटल कार्स को रिपेयर करता है.
अच्छा.
अच्छा, अब वो डेंटर था, यानी कि गाड़ी बनने के लिए आती थी, वो गाड़ी लेके निकल पड़ता था. तो अब पता चला लड़का डेंटर था. मुझे एक बात बताएं, लड़की वालों को झटका लगेगा नहीं लगेगा?
लगेगा झटका.
हाँ, झटका, ऐसा जोर का झटका धीरे से लगेगा, हो सकता है लड़की ने अपने नस नस भी काट दी हो. यार मैं ये क्या हो गया मेरे साथ. मतलब क्या बताया था सर ने कि फॉर्च्यूनर में क्या क्या ख्वाब देखे होंगे उसने कि वो जो है वो सनरूफ से बाहर निकल रही होगी, उड़ रही होगी. अब तो वो उड़ गई हमेशा के लिए. अच्छा, अब दूसरी एग्जांपल देता हूँ. सर एक लड़का था, उसने अपना रिश्ता भेजा, मेरे पास आई इंक्वायरी. मैंने बोला कि यार देखें, सीधा साधा लड़का है, नेक लड़का है, शरीफ लड़का है, और 2 वक्त रोटी खाता है, हलाल रोटी खाता है. लड़की वालों ने कहा ठीक है सही यार, हमें इतना ही चाहिए, कोई इशू नहीं है. उन्होंने रिश्ता करा दिया. अब जब पता चला कि भाई उसका तो सऊदीया के अंदर एक बिजनेस है पूरा, वो तो सिर्फ डाउन टू अर्थ था जिसकी वजह से उतना शो ऑफ नहीं करता था. अब मुझे बताओ लड़की वालों को झटका लगेगा?
हाँ, झटका लगेगा मगर अच्छा वाला लगेगा.
हाँ, लेकिन इस दफा खुशी वाला झटका लगेगा. ऐसा ही है ना?
हम्म.
तो उसका मतलब ये अकाउंटिंग लॉ भी ये कहता है भाई अपनी पोजीशन को अंडरस्टेट करके दिखाओ, लॉसेस एक्सपेंसेस दिखाओ, रेवेन्यूज को कम दिखाओ. कि
हाँ.
अगर रियलिटी में पोजीशन अच्छी निकल आई तो इन्वेस्टर को ही फायदा है.
अच्छा,
लेकिन
ये
अगर तुमने
वैसे
अपनी
साइकोलॉजी
पोजीशन
का
को
खेल
बहुत
है.
एग्जैजुरेट करके दिखाया, बहुत ही ओवरस्टेट करके दिखाया, और रियलिटी में वो ना हुई, तो ऑब्वियसली इन्वेस्टर को फिर लॉस होगा. आर यू गेटिंग अ पॉइंट?
हाँ. अच्छा, तो साइकोलॉजी की तरह है बिल्कुल. इन्वेस्टर को शौ दे के खुशी करवा दो.
हाँ बिल्कुल ऐसे, इसीलिए इसको कहते हैं प्रूडेंट। प्रूडेंस मीन्स समझदारी को कहते हैं, प्रूडेंस कॉन्सेप्ट कि यार लॉसेस नजर आ जाए दिखा दो। इसी तरीके से मैचिंग प्रिंसिपल अक्रूवल कॉन्सेप्ट क्या कहता है, कहता है कि जो अभी आपने डेफिनेशन दी थी दैट वाज परफेक्टली फाइन, एक्सपेंसेस एंड रेवेन्यू शुड बी रिकॉर्डेड when it is incurred or arise, when it is incurred or
Arise.
yes, don't wait for the payment. Basically, the crux or the central idea for it, that don't wait for the payment. Don't wait for the payment. Don't wait for the payment. It means
Okay.
we are going to record the bad debt expense, although it has not yet arisen, although there is no outflow of cash. So expenses and revenue should be recorded. Expenses and revenue should be recorded when it is incurred or arise. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
So this is the reason that you need to remember, please. Whenever the examiner asks you that why the provision for doubtful debt is recorded, so there are two reasons. Number one, in compliance of the prudence and the matching principle.
Mm.
Are you clear with this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now one more thing, that if, for example, if we have written off the debt, for example, if you have written off, Ammar, can you please let me know the accounting entry to write off the debt?
So, sir, to write it off, I would say bad debts debited and the person credited.
Very good. Irrecoverable debt is debited. Irrecoverable debt is debited and trade receivable is credited, right?
Yes.
This is going to be the accounting entry to write off. For example, one of the customer was in the financial difficulty. What I did, I just wrote off that amount. I just wrote off that amount, that since the customer is in a financial crisis, I will not be able to recover that amount. So I just wrote off that particular debt. But remember, I will not let my customer know about this write-off. I will not inform the customer, okay, Mr. X, now I have written off your debt. So please be careful and please be calm. I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to ask him that I
We
have
have to
written
still keep him in
off.
pressure so that if he pays back, we get profit somehow.
Yes, there is a possibility. For example, the customer worked hard day in and day out, and one day he came back with my debt amount. One day he came back with my debt amount. That's Mr. Junaid. Here we go. Your 100,000 that I took or I bought goods on credit. I wasn't able to repay that amount by that time, but today I got the money, so you can take your amount back. Now, what do you think? Whether I will ask that particular customer that I don't want this amount,
Oh no, I would, sir.
I'm going to recover that amount. What I will say that no, Mister, I have written off your debt. You can sleep well. Never ever. We are not going to
But
leave him
sir, I have
out.
a question. Won't we also charge? I mean, Islamic businesses won't, but won't we charge interest also on
Yes,
that?
exactly. Even I will ask him, I will scold him, that idiot, I was waiting since a long time. Although I'm happy from my heart that since the amount is recovered, otherwise I have made a provision, I have already written that return of that amount. But since the customer bought that amount, now what will be the accounting treatment? Now there are two possible ways. First, let me give you the first possible way. That if we have recovered that amount, first of all, what we will do? We will first of all reverse that entry, because we have written off that amount. So first we are going to reverse that entry. We are going to reverse that entry. So what we will do, we will again give a life to trade receivable. So the trade receivable will be debited and
Irrecoverable.
irrecoverable debt will be credited. Are you getting a point?
Yes.
So first what we did, the first step, that is we have reversed that write off, reversed the write off. Now, the second adjustment that we are going to do, the second adjustment that we are going to do is to record the receipt of money. Is to record the receipt of money paid. It means the customer has paid the amount. So what we will do, we will record the
So
bank
bank has
debited
debited.
and trade receivable will be credited with the same amount. So this is known as what, the receipt from customer. Receipt from customer. So it means two transactions will be recorded. Two transaction will be recorded. Number one, reversal of write-off, And number two, receipt from customer. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
Now,
So like there's nothing really complex in this.
yes,
Concepts.
exactly. It's quite simple. But now, one thing that if you just focus on this one, since I debited the trade receivable and then subsequently in the next entry I credited the trade receivable. So can I say that the trade receivable will be cancelled out?
Trade. Say again.
Let me repeat it again. Once the customer repaid that amount, what I did, I just prepared two accounting entries. Number one, the reversal of the previous write-off. Number two, receipt of cash from the customer. So once I prepared these two entries, so I can see that the in one entry trade receivable is debited, in the other entry trade receivable is credited with the same amount. So I just cancelled it off. Are you getting a point?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So now the remaining part that is left out is the bank is debited and irrecoverable debt is credited. So it means
Oh,
that amount amount written off subsequently recovered. Subsequently
recover.
recovered. Subsequently recovered. Amount written off subsequently recovered for this particular accounting entry would be bank debit and irrecoverable debt credit. And if you just see irrecoverable debt is an expense.
Yeah. Oh, so that means decrease in expense means commission.
Yes, there's a decrease in expense and this will be treated as other income. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir. So in income statement, you will write irrecoverable debt repaid.
Sorry?
What did we write in income statement?
Irrecoverable debt recovered.
Oh,
Irrecoverable debt recovered. Irrecoverable debt recovered. So
okay.
remember, so remember, irrecoverable debt recovered, subsequently recovered, will always be considered as other income. I repeat, irrecoverable debt subsequently recovered. Irrecoverable debt subsequently recovered will be considered as other income. Can you repeat it again?
Irrecoverable debt recovered or bad debt recovered will be treated as other income.
Yes.
Sir,
Are you clear
if
with this one?
yes, yes. So if income the credits income statement, right?
Yes, exactly. This will be recorded as an income and it will increase the profit.
Yeah, because other income only means bank debit. That means income statement credit. Very simple.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Very good. Are you clear with this one?
Yes, sir.
Now let's see the question. It's a very basic question. Danny paid the business 4,500 in cash, cash and full settlement of the debt owed amounting to $5,000. The unpaid amount is to be written off as irrecoverable debt. Now prepare the general entry to record this. Now what happening? That Danny is one of the customer, and Danny has paid. The customer has paid the business $4,500. But the point is that the amount that should have been recovered is $5,000. Are you getting a point?
Yeah,
So now the unpaid. What is the unpaid amount? What is the unpaid amount?
500.
500. The unpaid amount is to be written off as irrecoverable debt. So it means the rest of the 500 will not be able to recover. So we are going to write it off. Now there are two possible ways. Either we write off and then we record the recovery, but we can do it directly as well. For instance, if the bank is debited by with what amount?
4,500.
Very good, 4,500. And the trade receivable or accounts receivable will be credited by what amount?
4,500.
Trade receivable will be credited by what amount?
4,500.
No.
5,000. Oh,
Yes.
500.
Why?
5,000.
Because yes, we had to recover $5,000. It's something different that the customer has only paid 4,500. But since the remaining or the rest of the 500 will be considered as what?
Irrecoverable.
Excellent. So it means irrecoverable. Irrecoverable that will be
500.
debited by 500. Are you
Okay.
getting a point?
Yeah, so we can do three, or can we do like three or more debit and credit entries just for the total to sum up, right? Is
Yes,
that?
this is known as what the compound entry, by the way.
Oh, this is compound entry. Okay.
Okay, let me break down this entry.
It's
Let me break
usually
down
used, I think, in limited companies most of the time because they have to pay the premium when pata nahi kya kya hai.
this. Exactly. Let me break down this particular entry. First, let's write off the debt. So, how much amount of debt should be written off?
Um, the 500, 500 is written off this one.
500. So, write off the entry to write off the debt is irrecoverable debt debit,
Yeah,
and trade receivable Danny will be credited, right?
yeah.
With what amount?
Then you will be getting about 5,000.
500,
No, Jenny would be getting about oh, okay. My bad. Wait, what did I mess up? So
right?
it's, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what, so can you say this again once more? Like
Are you clear with
recoverable
this?
debt, five. Yeah, yeah. It will be getting 500 because yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Okay. Now we are going to record the another transaction in this particular event, that is the receipt. Receipt. So how much amount we have received from the customer?
We have received 4,500.
Yes. So it means the bank will be debited by
4,500.
and trade receivable will be credited by.
4,500.
Yes. Why? Since the total receivable was 5,000. If I just make an accounting ledger, the ledger for trade receivable. So we had a receivable balance of 5,000, right?
Yeah,
And then the 500, the amount or the 500 debt was written off. So it means the trade receivable is credited by 500, right?
yep, 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 yep.
So now the net receivable is 4,500, which the custom we have received that amount from the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting a point?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
If you combine both of these entry, you will find out the entry that we have prepared. Are you
Yes,
getting a point?
yes, yes, I am. I am. So balance one down 5,000. What is ARL?
Account receivable or the trade receivable.
Oh, trade receivable. Yeah. So trade receivable account. So the अलग से account बनता है trade receivables का.
Yes.
Okay.
And since we have recorded that receivable, so let's record this in the journal ledger. So bank will be debited and the trade receivable will be credited with the 4,500. So out of 5,000, 500 was written off. 4,500 we have already received. So will there be a closing balance?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
there will be no closing balance since there is nothing to be recovered from the customer in the next accounting
But
period.
sir, 500 would be as loss. So where are we gonna write 500 off at?
500, this will be recorded in P&L, that is the income statement.
Yeah, but
This will be treated in operating expenses.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, nothing, nothing. Right. I'm just writing it one more time.
Are you clear with this one?
Yes.
Can you please try this one?
Okay, so I'll try. Okay, 1st January 2018, Ian owed a business 840. Oh my, he only paid only 68. The general entry and ledgers required to. Okay, so the general journal entry would be first date, 1st January, and he
Mhm.
paid on 1st June. So on 1st June, you would write June 1, I think. He paid only 168. So what you would do, you would using customer. So that did is paid back. So he owed 840. So bank. So he gave me so bank debited. Bad debts. Oh shit. June 1. So sir, bank debited, bad debt, bad debt also debited,
Hmm.
and Ian credited.
Okay, great. Bank will be debited by what amount?
168.
168. Nice, very good. And trade receivable, or IAN, the name of customer, will be
Uh,
credited by what amount?
Trade receiver we credited by 840.
Nice, very good. So, what is the difference amount that will be recorded in PNL?
840 minus 168. So 672.
Sorry,
672.
are you clear with this one?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Now we're gonna write written off. It is written off, right? It's not. It doesn't say anywhere that it's written off. Bad debt.
It's quite a full settlement means that the further amount will not be recovered.
Ah, okay. So we will write this off. So we will write another one. We would say bad debt is debited by 168.
Hmm.
No, it is
Six,
debited by 672.
yes. This amount will be recorded in income statement as an expense,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty sure it's going to be recorded as this.
Are you
And
clear
then
with this?
yeah, then he paid the receipt as well. No? So bank will be debited by um, 168, and then Ian will be credited by 160.
So you're making two entries. You're trying to make two entries.
Yeah.
Okay, what will be the first entry to write off?
Bad debt 672 debited.
Bad
Ian,
debt expense, that is irrecoverable debt debited. As is it?
we will not write it. Sorry. Uh, would we not write? I mean, can we also write bad debt, or we have to write it recoverable debt every time?
Try to use the terminology irrecoverable debt, because in exams you will see irrecoverable debt most of the time.
Uh,
So try to,
that means less space. Okay.
huh?
That means less space.
Let's
There's
be
very less space.
irrecoverable debt is debited and
Yeah.
trade receivable will be credited, right?
Ian. We will write Ian. No? Ian credit or something.
Ian, yes, Ian, very good. And
Ian
what will be the amount?
672.
Nice. And the other part, the second entry for the receipt would
The
be
receipt would be bank debited by 168
by
and
what amount?
168. 160.
Nice, very good. And
Ian also credited by the same amount. 168.
is it clear to you now?
Yes. So we have to make the account now. Let's just.
Ledger. Okay, now let's prepare the ledger for the receivable. What was the opening balance?
Okay, so opening balance was around 840.
Opening balance was 840. Now, out of 840 amount that we have written off,
Wait, sir. Let me just draw the T account, please. Date, details. Okay, so balance bottom. So when would this balance brought down be? It will, I think, be January 1st, right?
yes, it's the January 1st, the opening balance, right?
Yeah, so 840 will be. So, sir, the amount which is written off is 670.
672. And the 168 is the amount that we have received, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this will be credited by 168.
Wait, 160, yeah. 672, then 160.
Are
That
you
would be
closing?
June 1st, instead, right? The date would be June 1st because date also carries.
Are you clear with this one?
Yeah, 840, 840. Yes, I done. I wrote that.
Then
Yeah, I wrote. Reporting irrecoverable. Yeah, you said this basically.
yes, it's a recovery of irrecoverable debt. So there could be an entry that first we are going to the first thing is that we are going to record it as other income.
Uh-huh.
You can see the accounting entry, that is the cash or the bank is debited and irrecoverable debt recovered is credited, that shows
तो
or
भी अलग account बनता है.
yes, it's an other income. Another method is that we make two entries. The second and the first entry is basically the reversal, right?
Yes.
This is basically the reversal of write-off, reversal of write-off.
I
Are
did
you
this
clear
one.
with-
No? Yeah, yeah, you wrote. Irrecoverable customer debit and irrecoverable debt.
Yes, and the second entry is to record the payment. So this is basically the receipt that we have recorded.
So, sir, I have a question. What if he does suppose receive the check, but he do not put it to bank, and after like 2 weeks or 1 week, you decide to get the check to the bank and it's dishonored. So now what will you do?
So we will make an accounting entry for the dishonored check,
That's
and that would be account receivable will be debited and bank will be credited.
yeah, that's messed up. Imagine waiting for that.
Done.
Yeah,
And now how to record the provision for doubtful debt? So provision for doubtful debt is recorded with the entry, that is income statement with the amount of provision, that is irrecoverable debt.
yeah,
Irrecoverable debt will be debited. Irrecoverable debt will be debited and provision for doubtful debt is credited.
yeah,
Clear?
yeah.
Okay, now let's do this question. The trade receivable at 31st August 2018 were $14,000. It means the total trade receivable was $14,000. So the account receivable or the trade receivable was $14,000. Now let's move on. Irrecoverable debt for the year were $600. It means that $600 needs to be
Irrecoverable debt. Irrecoverable debt. So there was $600. $600 is the amount that we haven't gotten paid back.
so what we will treat it as, what we will
Bad
recognize
debt.
as bad debt, or we can also call it as write-off, right?
Written off. Yeah.
Okay. Now decided that 1%. Now full stop. It is decided that 1%. It is decided that 1% of the remaining trade receivables.
Would
1% of
prove to
the
be trade receivables.
yes, 1% of the remaining trade receivable will prove to be irrecoverable.
Remaining.
Is that
Okay, so
1%
1400
of the
minus
remaining
600.
trade receivable might not be able to recover, right?
Yeah.
Now we have to do two things. Number one, that is to make an accounting entry, journal entry to record the irrecoverable debt, which is write-off. And secondly, we need to prepare a provision for doubtful debt.
Acha, sir, about question. It says that this it is that 1% of remaining trade receivable. Matlab 14,000 minus 600 first.
Yes, why? Because if you just make an accounting entry for the write-off, what will be the accounting entry for the write-off?
It would be written off. It would be like the bad debt, which is how much 600 will be debited, and the con who have I don't know who, trade receivable is
Yes. Trade receivable is credited by 600, right? So it means
yeah,
you can see that trade receivable is increasing or decreasing.
it is increasing because
It is.
increasing.
It is.
Wait, it is decreasing because it's
Yes, it's decreasing. We are writing off. We are
yeah.
deleting
Makes
that
sense.
receivable.
Understood. Understood. Fine.
So it
Nice.
means we are, yes, what we did that out of 14,000, obviously 600 has been written off. It means it's deleted. So obviously now the receivable remaining balance is 13,400. Are you getting a point?
Yes, and then multiply by 1% is 134. So 130.
Yes. So it means the first entry that we made it, that is the irrecoverable debt debit and trade receivable credit. Now the remaining account receivable is 13,400. So in order to create a provision, 1% will be calculated. So can you please calculate the 1% of 13,400?
134. 134.
134. So what we are going to do? We are going to make a provision for doubtful debt with the amount of 134. So entry would be, what will be the accounting entry for this one?
Mm. Sir, provision for doubtful. I don't really.
I told you right now, irrecoverable debt debit
Recoverable debt debit and
and provision
probation.
for
अच्छा.
doubtful debt credit.
Yes.
Provision for doubtful debt is credited by 134. Amar, are you getting a point?
Yes.
So
And
this is the entry for provision for doubtful debt. Now, we are going to make an accounting ledger for the receivable as well as for the provision for doubtful debt.
yeah.
Now, if you just make an accounting ledger for the trade receivable or the accounts receivable, what was the opening balance? What was the opening balance?
Balance brought down. It was the total that we also 14,000.
14,000. And since we have written off certain amount, right?
Yeah. So
Uh, how much amount we have written
600.
off?
130. 600. Yeah, my bad. 600.
600. So 600 that we have written off. And there is no amount that we have recovered. There is no amount that we have recovered. So what will be the closing balance for it? What will be the closing balance for it?
134,000.
13,400,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. My bad. Uh,
Okay. Now, so let's complete the ledger. That would be 14,000. Ledger is closed. 14,000. Ledger is closed. So the balance carried down is going to be the brought down for the next period, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Are you clear with this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's make an accounting ledger for the provision for bad debt or allowance for bad debt or allowance for doubtful debt. Now, is there any opening balance given over here?
No, I don't think so.
No, there
No.
is no opening balance. If there had been an opening balance, so this should have been on the credit side. Remember, this would have been on the credit side. Why? Because
Contra
allowance
asset.
or the provision for bad debt is a contra asset account, and since it will always have a credit balance.
Yeah.
So provision for bad debt or allowance for bad debt will have a credit balance, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, we have made an accounting entry in which the provision for bad debt is being credited by 134. Is it?
Yeah.
So it will be credited by 134 with the amount of irrecoverable debt. Now, what will be the closing balance for it?
Closing balance, sir, it would be 134 only.
134. So we are going to close the ledger 134, 134. Since if there's a closing balance, obviously in the next accounting period, this is going to be the
Balance brought down. So
okay.
134.
Now, this is something that we have made a ledger. Now, one more extra thing that I would like to perform is want to prepare the balance sheet extract.
Wait.
Yes.
So carry down. Will we write carry down or will we write income statement on there?
No,
Because
remember, it's a contra asset account, so there will be no income statement will appear in the revenues and expenses. Since it's a contra asset account, and contra asset account means it's a part of balance sheet. It's a part of
balance sheet. So
yes, SOFP. So it means in all the SOFP accounts, whether it's an asset or the liability or the contra asset or the equity, there will always be a closing and the opening balance. But yes, if there is an expense or revenue, so it means in the revenues and expenses account, there will be an income statement and no carried down will be recorded. Are you getting a point?
yes, sir. So, sir, okay. So income statement में दिया हुआ है क्या provision कितनी है और trade receivable कितने हैं. Okay, like for this year only, for the year end. तो हम लोग income statement में कहाँ पे लिखेंगे उसको या लिखेंगे अगर कहीं
वेरी गुड, मैं
ट्रेड
आता हूँ उसके बाद। परफेक्ट है, मैं तुम्हारा सवाल समझ गया। अभी पहले हम बैलेंस शीट बना लें।
हाँ बना लें।
अच्छा, बैलेंस शीट हम बनाएंगे ईयर एंड पे। once we'll prepare the balance sheet, so we'll write it down the trade receivable. Can you please let me know the trade receivable closing balance?
Closing balance 134. Oh, sorry. Closing balance
13,400.
134.
And then we are going to deduct the provision for bad debt. Provision for bad debt. Do you know the provision for bad debt, the closing balance?
134.
Very good, excellent. So it means the net receivables that will be recorded, net receivables that will be recorded.
So 134,000 minus
13,400 minus 134.
yeah, minus sir 132.66.
1,
32.66. 132.66.
okay, 13,266.
Yeah.
No, we have
Wait, is there something?
12,200. Okay, okay, fine. 13,266, that is the net receivables, right?
Uh, yeah.
Okay, now let's prepare the income statement, profit and loss account extract. Now,
Yeah.
in this income statement, now the bad debt expense or irrecoverable debt will be reported, right?
Yeah.
And
So
you
for
just
how much?
see that we have recorded two entries. Number one, that is a write-off, and number two is the provision. So it means irrecoverable debt. On the first entry, irrecoverable debt is debited by 600. So it means this will appear in the income statement, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Another accounting entry that we have made, that again the irrecoverable debt is debited by 134. Is it?
Yes, so we will add 134.
Yes. So it means 600 plus 134. So this will make 734. Are you getting a point?
Yes, following the Prudence Principle. Yes.
Is your question is answered in this one?
Yeah. Understood. Understood.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but so I think sometimes in income statement, they give you the rate, and you're supposed to fund it yourself, like using the rate, like you multiply the trade receivable by the rate, and then you add it to the bad debts. Okay. Yeah. I just also have another question. What if bad debts is not given out? But like
Bad
a
debt is not.
provision for trade receivable of doubtful, sorry, provision for doubtful debts is this much percent. You find the percent and that's good. Like, for example, in this question, 600 was not given as bad. There was no bad debt at all.
Okay, there is no write-off. So obviously we are going to skip it out. We will just make a provision, and then after making a provision, only 134 will be recorded.
So we're gonna write it as bad debt in the income statement.
In income statement, you will only write down the 134.
Okay, yeah, I know, but like, what name would we give it? What name would we give it?
It would be treated as bad debt expense or irrecoverable debt.
Oh, acha, okay, that's all. That's all about it.
Yes. Are you clear with this one?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. In the next class, I will give you an idea for one more thing, that is increasing bad debt, and uh, at times
Decrease.
increase the provision, and at times we have to decrease the provision. So there is a small concept that inshallah we will discuss in the next class, and then we will solve the past paper question, right?
Yeah, I'll try doing some passive preparation if I find it.
Okay, yes, you can try. But there is a small concept of irrecoverable debt in the trial balance. After the trial balance, we will also discuss it, and then inshallah we will also try the past paper question.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. No questions.
Okay. Do revise this one before the next class so that we can have a good practice of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Allah.